If you have just one of these 4 mindsets or beliefs that I'm going to be talking about in this video, you're likely to come across as shy or a bit insecure potentially to other people. And if that's something you're worried about, then you should watch the whole of this video. I used to basically have all of these beliefs and mindsets, so I know exactly how it feels. But at the time, I didn't even think of myself as shy. I just thought the world was a scary place. But then I realized that actually just changing your mindsets or your beliefs can have a massive influence on how you actually feel and how you come across in the world. So I realized that was my quickest way of getting rid of shyness in a way and becoming much more confident in social situations. So let's get through them. The first belief that I always had was people can't be trusted. Trust was such a big thing in my mind. I basically didn't trust anybody until they had proven to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were sort of putting their own needs below mine. Then I thought, okay, I can trust them. But that's nonsense, quite frankly, because now what I do is I trust anybody. And by that I mean, I trust that they will do what's best for themselves up to the level of their evolution or their enlightenment. Now, what do I mean by that? I believe that we are all essentially self-interest oriented people. That doesn't make us bad people, it's just how we are. That doesn't mean I just give everybody my credit card. I don't. I also don't put myself in dangerous situations, but the average person on the street, I don't treat them with distrust. I'm just looking at them as somebody who I have things in common with, and that's actually another point, but somebody that I can trust so far as to know that it's probably in their own best interest to be collaborating with me if it comes to that. Does that make sense? So this trust thing is massively overrated, and the problem is if you run around distrusting everybody and you make that a big thing in your mind, you basically end up isolating yourself and coming across as shy to others because you're always like expecting the worst. My second strong belief was people secretly dislike me. Now, some people actually show you that they dislike you, but I always suspected that most people probably disliked me. I guess if I really searched deep within myself, it was probably because I secretly looked at other people's aspects that I disliked the most at the time, which meant that I ended up disliking a lot of people secretly and then pretended not to. And so I projected all of that onto other people because if you are like that, you assume everybody else is like that as well, or most people. Not a great place to be. But, I'm just trying to be honest here, and maybe you recognize this, right? So imagine turning this around, actually, and saying to yourself, people secretly like me. Because that's what I started doing. I started to just assume that people secretly like me, not dislike me, but like me. They just weren't always very vocal about it because, they had their own lives to get on with, or maybe they're shy to show that they secretly like me. But when I came into situations with that mindset, people secretly like me, all of a sudden I felt like, yeah, this is great. If you take that mindset into a social event, into a party, whatever, and you just focus on people secretly like me. You're just too shy to mention it. Yeah, makes a hell of a difference. The third big belief I had was, I will fail. I will probably fail on a good day. Now, I'd switched that around because I started to believe that I will succeed, or if I don't quite succeed, I will learn something. Success or learning. Success and learning as well. Or half success, learning. There's always learning. Everything's a test. I started to believe things like that rather than I will fail. But I only realized how that hampered me in the past, this I will fail. I always ended up actually not doing it in the first place. For example, in social situations, I did not speak to the person I wanted to speak to. I lost countless opportunities with people, in terms of dating, in terms of social connections, in terms of networking, in terms of jobs and things like that. So I will probably succeed or learn something is a much better mindset. So I'd recommend you switch that and make a note of that. And the last one, I don't know which of these you relate to the most, but the last one is a bit of a subtle one. And I always used to believe that I'm sort of different. I'm very different from everybody else. I think there was also a level of sort of arrogance in there, maybe misplaced arrogance and insecurity at the same time, if ever there's such a thing. Does anybody relate here? Maybe it's just me. But I always used to sort of try very hard to focus on all the things how I was different from others. And that was my way of defining who I was, I guess. Maybe we all do it. I don't know, but maybe it was just me. The more I started to focus on what I have in common with people, with others, how much I have in common with others, all of a sudden I started to have much more space around me. I started to find it much easier to connect with people, to reach out to people, and to have conversations with people about things we had in common, which we enjoyed, which we were interested in. Yeah? Night and day to I'm different. Because the more you define yourself as different from everybody else, the more you're isolating yourself. And that can be great for some people. However, it makes you come across as reticent and somewhat shy and not very open socially. And by the way, if you're very good looking at the same time and very stylish or something, it may make you come across as arrogant. Yeah. But maybe that's your thing, right? But anyway, so how do you actually change these things around? And I would recommend you really focus on the one that strikes you the most. People, like, which of those do you have the most? Is it people can't be trusted? People secretly dislike me. I will fail, or I'm different. Pick one of these 4 beliefs that makes the most sense to you in terms of like, oh yeah, I have that and I need to change that. Pick the one that's most accessible in that way, that you're most aware of. And get yourself thinking in the opposite way for a few minutes a day. So that means setting a timer, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and just saying the opposite thing in your mind. Yeah. If it's the first one, hey, I trust anybody that have their own best interests at heart. Or the second one, which I like a lot, people secretly like me. Yeah. They're just too shy to admit it. Right. And do that for a few minutes, and you'll notice it kind of seeps into your subconscious a little bit. Yeah. It takes some time. Then I recommend getting a rubber band. A rubber band to go around your wrists so you can snap yourself if the opposite way of thinking, the old way of thinking, comes in during the day. So if you end up thinking like, I think this person probably dislikes me, you just give yourself a little short, sharp pain. It creates a pattern interrupt for your brain because you're like, oh, that hurt. And then you've already almost forgotten what that was you were just thinking. And then you replace it after that with the thought that you want to have, like people secretly like me, or people probably secretly like me. Yeah. And that's how you change your belief systems step by step. And over time, you'll find that you will change your way of thinking and you feel differently amongst people. Now, if you actually do this, this is a great start. And in my experience of working with hundreds of people over the years on their confidence and their impact in life, this is something that really can make a big difference. Another big step would be to join a program that's dedicated to helping you double your self-confidence and your self-esteem in social situations. And that would be the challenge. My 6-week program, it's online, it's very affordable. All you need is about an hour a week, and it will help you to tune your mind and your belief system to a way of confident thinking and being, so that your mind and your emotions and your body language and your voice tone and everything screams confidence to yourself and to others. So follow the link here in the description or right here on the screen somewhere. And if you have thoughts or questions about this topic, please drop them here.